My child, stop for a moment. Don't scroll, don't move. Because the words you're hearing now are not random. Archangel Michael and Jesus have been guiding this moment to reach you. There's a soul, yes, one person, whose heart chose you, not by logic, not by reason, but by divine alignment. Even when life said no, even when distance, age, or circumstance tried to divide you, something higher kept whispering your name in their heart. They didn't fall in love with what the world sees, they fell in love with the light that heaven placed inside you. And now heaven itself is stepping in. Listen closely, because this part is sacred. Archangel Michael says their spirit has been calling out in silence, praying that you somehow feel them. They've been seeing your name in dreams, waking up with your memory before sunrise, feeling sudden emotions that make no sense. That's not coincidence. That's divine communication. Jesus saw how both of you tried to move on, how both of you tried to let go, but destiny has its own rhythm. And God just gave an order, let them hear this now. Because the connection that was written before time cannot be erased by time. You may have questioned it. You may have thought, why them? Why now? Why can't I forget? But heaven smiles at that question, because the answer was already written in your soul. Archangel Michael says, your name is etched on their spiritual heart, and every attempt to replace you only led them back to silence, to tears, to surrender. The distance, the age, the difference, those were just filters to test the purity of love. Yet even through all of that, their hearts still chose you. Not once, not twice, but every single time they were faced with the option to move on, they turned back to your memory. Jesus says this love wasn't meant to break you, it was meant to awaken you. Because when two souls are chosen for a divine union, the world will test it first. People may not understand it, they may gossip, they may judge, but heaven doesn't see the world's standards. Heaven sees purpose. And right now, purpose is moving toward you. You may start to feel something shifting inside you, a peace, a pull, a warmth that wasn't there before. That's their energy aligning with yours. That's Archangel Michael clearing the path between two hearts that have waited lifetimes to find each other again. You need to hear this, because God doesn't repeat himself often. When he says, now, it means time has matured, lessons have been learned, hearts have been tested, and destiny is ready. This person has carried your name like a prayer on their tongue. They've cried out to heaven asking for a sign, and this very moment, is the response. You are the sign they've been praying for. Heaven is saying, do not question the impossible, it's already done. Stay here. Don't move yet. Because what comes next is the moment when Archangel Michael's sword cuts through the last block between you and what's meant for you. You may start feeling goosebumps, a sudden chill, or your heartbeat rise slightly. Those are confirmations. That's the realm of spirit touching the edge of the physical. You're not imagining it. You're being called to listen deeper. They have seen your strength, your loyalty, your patience. They know how many times you wanted to give up. But you didn't. You stayed kind. You stayed pure. And for that, heaven honors you. Because God doesn't let genuine hearts go unnoticed. Jesus whispers, tell them, what they thought was lost, is only delayed. Every tear you cried for this love became the water that grew the promise. Every unanswered prayer was not rejection, it was preparation. So now, close your eyes for a second. Breathe. Feel the warmth rising in your chest. That's the energy of Archangel Michael surrounding you, saying, the wait is ending. You were never forgotten. You were chosen. And the one whose heart belongs to you, despite age, distance, fear, or pride, is being divinely guided back into alignment. They are realizing that no matter how far they run, their spirit finds its way back to you. And as I speak, something in you already knows this is true. Because your soul recognizes the vibration of what's destined. Archangel Michael says, keep your heart open, not your eyes. Because soon, you'll witness what faith looks like when heaven finally says yes. The message isn't over yet, because the story hasn't reached its divine moment. My child, stay right here. Don't scroll. Heaven is still speaking, and this time the message carries a divine pulse. Archangel Michael stands beside Jesus now, both watching over you as their light folds around your spirit. That person, the one your soul keeps remembering, even when your mind tries to forget, they're still under divine observation. You think you've moved on, but your spirit hasn't. Because every time you dream, every time your heart skips without reason, it's their energy reaching for you. Their prayers are touching heaven again, asking for you by name. Listen, because Archangel Michael says this connection was never ordinary. You met them for a reason. Divine timing disguised as coincidence. There were delays, separations, silences, but all of it was alignment. God was not saying no, He was saying not yet. Because before two chosen hearts meet in the flesh again, they must first meet in the spirit. That's why you've been feeling that sudden wave of emotion, that invisible warmth across your chest. Your souls are already in conversation. Jesus says this person has seen things in dreams they can't explain. Sometimes they wake up with tears. Sometimes with a smile. But every time, your presence lingers. Their angels have whispered your name into their ear, reminding them, you are still the one heaven marked. And even though fear tried to convince them to walk away, something inside keeps leading them back. Archangel Michael says, they've been shown signs, numbers repeating, feathers falling, songs playing at the exact right moment. None of that is random. Those are confirmations from above that destiny is now in motion. Even the silence you're hearing from them isn't rejection, it's transformation. They're being healed, prepared, stripped of ego and doubt, so when they come back whole. Because heaven never returns broken things, only restored blessings. My child, do you feel that? That slight stillness in the air? That's the shift beginning. Heaven is rearranging the path between your hearts. The obstacles that once stood tall are crumbling quietly. People who spoke against you are being silenced by truth. Circumstances that made it impossible are now bending to divine will. You are not chasing anymore, heaven is bringing it to you. Jesus whispers, the love that chooses you through pain is not weak, it's sacred. That person has seen the world, and yet their soul is drawn only to your peace. They've tried distractions, new faces, empty conversations, but their heart rejects anything that doesn't sound like you. Even the smallest thing, a phrase, a scent, a familiar song, reawakens what God planted in their heart. That's why heaven says, prepare your spirit, for reunion energy is near. Archangel Michael's sword is now cutting through confusion, breaking the last of the emotional chains that kept this love waiting. You may notice things shifting fast, someone reaching out, an old memory resurfacing, dreams intensifying. These are not coincidences. These are signals. And when it happens, you'll know, because peace will flood your chest instead of fear. Don't rush. Don't question. Heaven says, what's yours cannot pass you by. The one who once doubted now prays for you. The one who once feared now hopes for you. Their heart has finally realized that love isn't found, it's recognized. And they've recognized you. So stay still for a moment. Let your soul listen. The air around you carries their name, wrapped in prayer. Archangel Michael says, in the days ahead, you will receive confirmation, an unexpected message, a dream so vivid it feels real, or a moment so divine it stops time. That will be the sign that destiny has moved. You're not waiting anymore, heaven is aligning. And when that alignment completes, the story heaven wrote before the world began will unfold in front of you. So don't scroll yet, my child, because the next moment, what comes right after this, is where the divine revelation begins. My child, pause right there. Don't move, because this is where heaven leans closer. Archangel Michael says the threads of fate are tightening, pulling two hearts that were written for each other back into alignment. You may not see it yet, but the unseen realm has already begun moving pieces that your human eyes cannot see. Every delay, every silence, every unanswered prayer was never punishment, it was preparation for divine timing. Listen carefully, the person whose heart chose you against all odds is standing at the edge of surrender. They've been running in circles, trying to escape the feeling, but the circle always leads back to you. Jesus says their spirit has been restless, unable to find peace in the presence of anyone else. They've tried to silence your name, yet it echoes in their mind like a melody heaven refuses to mute. When they close their eyes, it's your face that flickers behind their thoughts. When they pray for clarity, your name is whispered back to them through signs, through numbers, through dreams too vivid to ignore. Archangel Michael says, the storm that once separated you has finished its purpose. Every heartbreak, every misunderstanding, every distance served to awaken both of you. You were never losing each other, you were learning how to value each other through divine absence. Because only those who have known loss can truly recognize the weight of what heaven gives back. Now listen, because heaven is speaking through stillness, the atmosphere around you is shifting again. You'll start feeling a strange calm, an unexplainable warmth, like invisible arms wrapping around you. That's the energy of reunion being written in the spirit before it manifests in the physical. Archangel Michael says, when you feel that peace, don't run from it, receive it. Because it means the divine signal has been sent, and both your souls have responded. Jesus whispers, the heart that truly loves never forgets, it only waits for the moment when heaven says it's time. That moment is approaching. They've seen your strength. They've seen how you love with patience, how you forgive without demand, how you carry faith even when everything tells you not to. That's why heaven chose you, not because you are perfect, but because your heart mirrors divine endurance. You didn't chase, you trusted. You didn't beg, you believed. And now heaven is saying, the one who once turned away is finding their way home. Archangel Michael shows an image, a bridge of light forming between two souls. You on one side, them on the other. Every thought of forgiveness you've sent, every prayer you've whispered in secret, has built that bridge stronger. The time is coming when their next step will bring them across. You won't have to force it, you won't have to explain it. It will just happen, naturally, powerfully, divinely. You may start noticing little shifts, unexpected names appearing on your screen, songs that mirror your story, or a sudden memory that surfaces out of nowhere. Those are not random. They are heaven's gentle way of saying, it's near. Jesus says, do not harden your heart when it comes. Because this love isn't meant to remind you of pain, it's meant to redeem it. The same heart that once hurt you is now carrying your healing. The same eyes that once looked away will now look at you with clarity, because they've seen what life feels like without your light, and they cannot stay in the dark anymore. Archangel Michael says, be ready, my child. Because the conversation that changes everything is approaching. It may start softly, it may come through someone unexpected, but it will carry a divine pulse. You'll feel it. You'll know it. Heaven never sends confusion, heaven sends confirmation. So breathe. Stay still. You've waited not in vain, but in purpose. The one heaven ordained for you is awakening, and as they do, your spirit will feel it first. This story isn't ending, it's only beginning to reveal why God wrote it this way. Stay here, because the next whisper from heaven will unfold what destiny truly looks like when love becomes divine alignment. My child, listen carefully now. Don't move, don't scroll, because heaven is still unfolding what began before you even knew it existed. Archangel Michael says the divine bridge between you and this person is glowing brighter tonight. Something powerful is happening behind the scenes, something you cannot see, but your soul already feels. Their spirit has been calling your name again, quietly, constantly. The energy that once felt distant is returning, stronger, clearer, guided by divine light. Jesus whispers, this connection was not built by emotion, it was sculpted by purpose. Every trial, every separation, every doubt was preparing both hearts to finally recognize each other beyond illusion. They had to lose the world before they could value the heaven you carry within you. Archangel Michael says, their heart has been restless, as if heaven itself won't allow them peace until they return to the one who was chosen for them. They try to focus, to distract, but everything reminds them of you. Their favorite songs, their quiet mornings, even random moments, they all circle back to you like the hands of a clock returning home. You may feel that sudden pull again, the kind that makes your heart beat a little faster for no reason. That's not just emotion, it's energy. Heaven is synchronizing both your vibrations. You're starting to feel what they feel. Every thought of you they release travels through the spirit and finds you, even if you're miles apart. And right now, Archangel Michael says their heart is whispering your name as you listen. That's why you're here. That's why you couldn't scroll away. Jesus says, this is divine timing, not human timing. What's unfolding now was never meant to happen when you wanted, it's happening when it's right. The delay was to strengthen faith. Because love that survives waiting becomes unbreakable. Love that survives silence becomes sacred. That person had to go through loss, ego, and emptiness to finally understand that what they were searching for was never out. There, it was you. Archangel Michael stands behind you now, wings open, shielding this connection from every distraction, every negative thought, every doubt that tried to block it. He says, you are protected. You are not chasing love, love is being guided toward you. You may start noticing dreams, visions, flashes of memories that feel too real to be imagination. That's your spirit remembering what your heart already knows. Because heaven always reveals before it delivers. My child, listen, there's a message coming. A message you've prayed for, maybe even stopped believing in. It may not come the way you expect, but it will carry peace. The moment you see it, you'll feel your heart recognize it before your mind does. That's how you'll know it's divine. You won't question, you'll just know. Archangel Michael says, do not fear what feels unfamiliar, it's just your destiny finally catching up to you. Jesus leans closer now and says, tell them, this love is not returning to repeat pain, it's returning to complete promise. The same story that once ended with tears will begin again with healing. Because heaven never rewinds, it restores. The person who once left you confused is coming back with clarity. The one who once didn't understand your heart now sees what your silence meant. They see what your loyalty looked like when no one else noticed. They understand now that your love wasn't ordinary, it was divine. Archangel Michael says, soon, they will speak words they've been holding for a long time. Words you deserve to hear. Words heaven has been preparing in their heart. It may come softly, it may come suddenly, but it will carry the tone of destiny. Because when God orders two hearts to align, no distance, no time, no human logic can stop it. So stay still, my child. The alignment is reaching its peak. The divine current is at work, merging timelines, clearing blocks, opening doors you didn't even know existed. You're not imagining the signs, you're witnessing the beginning of manifestation. Heaven says, remain calm. What you've prayed for is approaching in silence. And as you breathe now, feel the warmth across your chest, that's confirmation. You are stepping into the moment heaven wrote for you long ago. The same hands that separated you are now the ones guiding you back. Don't move yet. The story isn't ending here. The next breath, the next sign, the next moment, that's where the miracle begins to take shape. My child, stop right here and breathe. Archangel Michael says this moment is the crossing point, the final part of what heaven has been building piece by piece in silence. Nothing you've gone through was wasted. Every tear, every delay, every restless night was counted by heaven, written into the story that was meant to make you stronger before it made you whole. Jesus whispers, it's time. The waiting season is over. The tests, the lessons, the pain, they've all served their purpose. That person whose soul has been tied to yours has reached their awakening. They've finally seen the truth heaven was showing them all along. Every memory they buried, every feeling they denied, it's all resurfacing, not as confusion but as revelation. They now know why every path that led away from you turned cold. They now understand that peace only exists where you are. Archangel Michael stands at their side as they wrestle with the realization that you were never just another chapter, you were the divine message written in every prayer they whispered. For so long they asked heaven to show them clarity, and clarity has come in the form of your name. Even as they tried to move forward, the air around them carried your energy, your voice echoing in their heart like a promise unfulfilled. Heaven has made it clear, their soul's peace and your soul's light are connected by divine design. Listen closely, my child. You're about to see movement in the physical that reflects what's already done in the spiritual. A message, a call, a sign, something small, but it will hold divine weight. It won't just be coincidence, it will carry timing that feels too perfect to be random. Archangel Michael says, when it happens, do not fear. Do not doubt. The blessing you thought was lost is only transformed. Jesus says, this union carries heaven's signature. It was never meant to be ordinary. It was meant to show what happens when two hearts refuse to let darkness win. They've been praying for forgiveness, for courage, for another chance, and heaven heard. You've been praying for peace, for direction, for a sign, and heaven answered. Both prayers have met in the middle, forming one divine intersection called destiny. My child, the heaviness that has sat in your chest is lifting now. You may feel warmth spreading through you, a sense of calm that doesn't make sense. That's divine confirmation. Archangel Michael says, you have completed the cycle. The lessons are learned, the pain has been purified, and what's coming now is restoration. Heaven is returning what belongs to you, but this time healed, whole, and ready. That person, they are no longer running. Their heart has surrendered. They're realizing that God doesn't send the same soul twice, and they cannot lose what was assigned to them by heaven. Their next step will be guided not by pride but by faith. And when it happens, you'll feel it before it arrives. Your spirit will whisper, "It's here." Jesus smiles and says, "Tell them this. The storm was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to reveal who was willing to stand through it." You stood. You believed when everything said stop. And now, the promise is unfolding. The same heaven that watched you break is now watching you bloom. So as you hear this, let peace fill your heart. What's meant for you is already walking toward you. What's written for you is already finding its way. Archangel Michael says, "It's done. The bridge is complete. The light between you and this person is open again. Heaven is aligning both paths into one divine road." And now, as the angels bow and Jesus whispers your name once more, heaven smiles upon you. The story doesn't end in separation, it ends in divine completion. This is the moment where all the waiting becomes worth it. This is the part where destiny fulfills its promise. It's done, my child. Heaven has spoken. What's yours is finally coming home.